everybody. I'm Solstice, and I'm the one who built this. This is a work from me. This is based on Ianite from the Mianite series, as these signs have said and mentioned. Name's the username, my YouTube channel, and DeviantArt username. This is supposed to be of me. This is an armor stand. A nicely done armor stand. I couldn't really figure out how to get a better green at the time, but I realize now that I probably could have just added some blue to make the green a little more flush with how it should be. Yeah. Anyways, I mostly watched the Mianite series through CaptainSparklez' channel. Like, he would do the live streams and then he would put it to video on YouTube and such after he does a bit of editing of whatever he feels is necessary. At least I think he does it. Like either him or his friend. I'm not sure which. But yeah, it's on his channel is the point. And I really like his perspective. It's somehow enjoyable. Just it actually gets pretty funny. At the same time, I also get to see some interesting bits of plot and design take place. Yeah, I really love this series. Anyways, this is his god, basically. Or at least his god in the series. On this server, this is Ianite, which is my favorite of them. I knew once purple hair was gonna be a thing, I was definitely gonna be interested. I freaking love the color purple. I knew once that was gonna be a thing, this was gonna get great. Very fast. I just basically had to wait for her actual reveal. Now, until then, they have kind of discussed between Mianite and CaptainSparklez of how the Ianite temple should be, and they did mention that it would have a bit to do with the Prismarine blocks from the ocean monuments. So I figured I would definitely include those into the build. And just to make it more 1.8, I included the diorite and polished diorite. Most mainly the polished, because the regular diorite just sort of nearly died off. I sneezed. Anyway, I also included slime blocks just to give it a little more greens into the build. I'm not sure how many people have noticed this, but oddly enough, bright green and bright purple really have an interesting, colorful contrast to one another. You would think it would have more contrast as red and bright green, but really purple does about as much, although red and green are on opposite sides of the color wheel. As I was building this, there was there was a few difficulties of deciding how I wanted to design it, how I wanted to build it. There was which block I always wanted to decide which blocks I wanted to use for skin tone. As I was building, I was trying to figure out what to do for the dress color. Eventually I came to this light blue stained clay. And when it comes to skin tones, there's two blocks I see that are very good for it. There's this white stained clay, and then there's sandstone. Technically there's smooth sandstone, which you would think would be better, but the way it's so tiled compared to just regular sandstone makes it not quite as good, or at least for this kind of stuff. Like, if you just use regular sandstone, it just sort of blends more. And then the next difficulty I had was these. You would think, what do you mean? There's so little of it. What's the difficult part? Well, originally this was glowstone, which would ideally be more of the correct color. However, it just blended too much with the regular skin tone of the I went for with these blocks. So I had to change it to gold, and of course I have to figure out how to really shape it correctly, how to proportion it correctly, so on and so forth, which directions it should go, and then, and then apply that to the irregular shape of this dress. Let me tell you, not easy. Because you want it to look rather even from one side to the next. So if it doesn't go right, you have to make a few adjustments or make a few decisions. So that's one of the difficulties of that. This part on the legs wasn't too bad, but making the legs was a bit of the pain. Like, I would say, for the most part, actually building it isn't as bad as trying to decide what to really do with some of the stuff to actually make it. But that's the fun part of it, of like doing this kind of stuff. It takes a little creativity and a little imagination. It's just like play a little of both. As you undoubtedly noticed, I've been using armor sands now for this instead of just like leaving it plain and maybe leaving a sign or two. Like, I think I'm probably gonna do that from now on. Like, I really love armor stands and playing around with them. Like, I've been doing that quite often recently in multiplayer maps that I've been on. Just like making clones of people. Lots of fun. So much fun. And just to add a little something more to this build, I added these as sort of like particles of like exerted power of Ianite or something. And I added these in the background, perfectly evenly spaced, as like what she basically represents, more ideally. My god. I swear I might be catching a cold. But yeah, I think it fits this quite well. It looks pretty good too. And since gold in this game is basically yellow, it also has a really bright contrast to it where it just really brightens things up a bit. It really does. It's like a lot more sunshiny. Oh man, I just loved working on this part alone. Oh man. But yeah, that's about it. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to check out the map download. It'll be in the link below, in the description. And yeah. Bye bye guys and gals.